Yeah, when I heard the news about Jacoby Jones, I was in shock. It's very surprising. It's always surprising when see a celebrity, not just a celebrity, when you hear about somebody passed away. You know what I'm saying? And it just took me back. I just thought about the days when he was with the Texans. He used to score his touchdowns and do his dance moves and all that, and just the excitement he brought to the game. And yeah, like both said, it's definitely too soon at 40 years old. He died in his sleep. It was a very sad story. Definitely praying for his family and friends, and hopefully they stay strong.
Absolutely, it's a tough time as always, especially at somebody at the age of 40. Crenshaw, what about you, brother?
Man, I remember like going to the games preseason. He was running touchdowns back. I was like, damn, we got our Devin Hester because Devin Hester came the year before, so I was excited as hell, man. And it's very sad, man. 40 years old. I mean, we don't really know exactly what happened, but it's just a sad thing because we're not used to our players passing away. I mean, we had Ryan Mallett, but we didn't draft Ryan Mallett. So I think we did drop Ryan Mallett. No, we didn't
No,
drop
we
Ryan.
didn't. No.
Yeah, we didn't drop Ryan Mallett. But yeah, it's a very very sad, man. But prayers to his family. I hope they give out information on his funeral, and hopefully I can attend it.
Absolutely. Yeah, man, it's sad to hear somebody so young. Uh, he was kind of the turning point of the franchise, right? Like back there in 2011, that's when we started rocking and rolling. It's like we're getting the missing pieces. Just a bad thing is we can never, win it all for him. But luckily, he went to Baltimore. Him and Bonte Leach, they won, and they got the ring. The only thing that matters when it comes the football is that championship. So, like everybody says, man, thoughts and prayers to the Jacoby Jones family. Definitely need it. It's a rough time out there. But moving on to another NFL news slash Texans, however you want to say it. There's been some videos going around of the Hall of Famers getting their golden jackets. Andre Johnson got to open his. Drew, did you see the video yet?
I did not see the video, but I'm glad that he is finally getting recognition he deserves.
So you excited? He deserves it, right?
Oh,
You're not one of those.
absolutely.
Okay,
No way. He was
all
so
right.
good. Unbelievable.
Bo, you have a TikTok out there of you reacting to the video, man. So tell us for those who didn't see it. What's your thoughts on it?
No, man, it's amazing. It's amazing to finally say, as a Texans fan, that we have a Hall of Famer. Because you go through all the years, we the newest franchise from 2002, so everybody just says, like, y'all ain't got no Hall of Famers, y'all don't have nothing, y'all ain't about nothing, you have no history. But to finally see history being written for the Texans and this organization has a Hall of Famer speaks volumes. And for it to be Andre Johnson just says a lot, man. It couldn't happen to a better person, and I'm just so proud to be a Texans fan right now.
Absolutely, Crenshaw. What about you, brother?
I'm very happy for him. Um, you know, we had some rough times at the end with Andre, but I'm glad that that things got resolved because at one point I thought he was never going to fuck with us again. You know, so to see him get this jacket, and I can't wait to next month. I mean, I might cry. So I'm letting you know ahead of time I might cry because that's something that you want to see. You want to see your Hall of Famers. You want to see Super Bowls. You want to see things like that. So to see that from him, very humble guy, can happen to a better person.
Absolutely, Kenneth. Your thoughts?
I'm definitely excited for Andre Johnson. I can just go back just watching that video when what's his name, the receiver, I think Carter, when Carter knocked on his door, and the emotions, it's just like, man, it's finally happening, and definitely excited for him, happy for him. One of the greatest players to ever touch the field. Straight dog. Everybody love Andre Johnson when it comes to the Houston Texans fan base, and regardless of him going to the Colts and the Titans, we still got love for him. At the end of the day, just happy for him and glad that he getting the recognition that he's getting.
Yeah, like honestly, I thought it was gonna be another year or two, just because let's call a spade, right? Like Houston does not get no love from the media. Like that is where people hate on the Texans. Hopefully, it's turning around because of who we got at quarterback now. But back in the day, Andre Johnson was tearing up the league, and nobody was recognizing it. Glad to see him get what he deserves. Now that he's got his gold jacket, Cal McNair, if you're listening, we need the statue of him beating down Cortland Finnegan in front of NRG. Look, make it. JJ already called it. Like let's make it happen, Captain. Like we need it yesterday. Anybody have any different ideas for the statue that they want?
That would be the greatest statue of all statues at NFL stadiums.
Yeah, I mean it'd be prices, right? Like
Yeah.
who else, I don't know. That's what I would like to see. Well, fellas, let's go to what we're here for. Training camp somewhat started today, but the real action starts here in the next couple of days. So, Drew, I'll start with you since our guest. What are you most excited to see this training camp?
Ooh, there's a lot of fun, I guess, position battles, players fighting for roster spots. I would start at the cornerback position, I guess. You got C.J. Henderson, Jeff Okudah, Kamari Lassiter, all competing for that cornerback two spot. What are they going to do at the nickel position? Are they just going to throw the guy who gets third in the nickel position? Could they move Jalen Petrie down to the slot, which I think they absolutely should? So it'll be interesting to see how this defense in the secondary is going to look because that was a problem at one point in the season. That was a very big problem, but they clearly put a lot of assets into that in the offseason.
Absolutely. So, who you think is going to be the toughest uh, battle at camp?
It's got to be the cornerbacks. I really think so. Also, who's going to be the best receiver on the roster? We don't know what's going to happen there. I have no idea who's going to finish first in receiving on the Texans. It could be Tank Dell, could be Nico Collins, could be Stephon Diggs. That'll be really interesting. But the cornerback position, that's going to be fascinating because you got four super talented guys, obviously including Derek Stingley. But C.J. Henderson, you can't forget about him. Jeff Okudah, first round talents. Kamari Lassiter, I had him as a first round talent as well. Got drafted in the second round. So that's really exciting.
All right, Kenneth, man, well, we know you're excited. You got some crazy takes like Nico Collins being cut last year. Some crazy off the wall ones. So tell me, which one are you most excited for this offseason
Um,
or this training camp? Sorry.
I'm just very excited to see number 1, 3, 12, 7, 28, and 86 on that field together as the starting offense. It's just like Prince started to say, he might shed a tear with Andre on the Hall of Fame game. I might shed a tear right there, man, because it's gonna get so real. Like I'm beyond excited. I cannot wait. Um, and yeah, let me clarify this. Let me say this real quick about Nico. Yes, I wanted him to get cut. I was mainly talking trash because I was a little tired of him. And another thing is, I'm a, I was a Davis Mills fan. We shall say.
Oh
So people
man.
was hating on Davis Mills, and I'm just like, man, Davis ain't got the weapons, yada yada, this and that. Whatever the case may be, I had to come back to reality. But I thank God for Davis Mills at the end of the day for that touchdown versus the Colts because we went and got
Absolutely.
CJ Stroud. So at the end of the day, so yes, so that's the situation with Nico. I got love for Nico. He definitely showed up last year. Happy for him. He got paid, and definitely excited to see him grow more. So yeah, that's my take on Nico. For the
All right.
fans, y'all to know that. But yeah, so I'm just excited to see this offense, and also excited to see the cornerbacks and the defensive line. Like I know we can't see much from the defensive line in training camp, but when they put the pass on, we may see a little something, something. But of course, we got to wait to the season see the D line. So I'm excited. Period, man. I think this is our year, honestly.
Okay. Crenshaw, brother, we've talked about it before, but you haven't been on in a while. So tell us, man, what positions are you uh are you excited for this training camp?
All right, these three guys I'm looking at. I'm looking at Kenyon Green, Jalen Petrie, and yes, Derek Stingley. Because
Always be hating that boy.
I'm,
Always
I'm
be hating on.
I'm not hating it. Just I want to see this guy play. 17 games. He
Gotcha.
hasn't played full season since his freshman year in college. Last year, he came back. Got some interceptions, but I want to see you on the field. So and Kenyon Green, this your last year, but if you can't get it together this year, we're gonna holler at you. And Jalen Petrie, I don't, hopefully it was just you're playing out of position, and we get that done right. But those three guys that I want to pay attention to. The rookies, I'm looking forward to the rookies as well, but I really don't really check those guys out. Pause to maybe like year two or whatnot. But those my three right there, and of course CJ, man. I want CJ because right now they're hating on him. If he come back this year not as good as he was last year, we're gonna get shitted on for all the offseason, stuff he was doing. So CJ, of course, he's number one, but as long as he beats CJ, we should be fine.
Absolutely. Bo, man, you have some great TikToks and takes on TikTok about the defense. So is that who you're wrong with? Are you most excited to see the defense, or what positions are you excited for this training camp?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, everyone's going to say C.J. Stroud. That's the sexy pick. Everybody with the quarterback. We want to see the quarterback. We want to see his second year. We want to see his poise. If his leadership has grown from what it was last year, we want to see that. But besides him, I would love to see how Aziz, leads this defense as being like, I guess, his first year as a Texan, even though he's been in D'Amico Ryan's system. I want to see how he leads the defense. I want to see, of course, we want to see the receiver, cornerback, one-on-ones. We want to see iron, sharp iron. Derek Stingley against Diggs, and you'll get Okuda against Nico Collins and Tank Dell against Henderson. So we want to see those one-on-ones. And like Crenshaw said, I really want to see if Kenyon Green has made that extra step, has actually done what he's supposed to do these off seasons, rehab, got his body together, got his mind into it, got his confidence up. I want to see him go out there with confidence and take over that left guard position so we can have this offensive line rolling before week 1. So that's what I want to see.
Absolutely. Like I have to agree with all you got. Of course, CJ Stroud is the sexy pick. You're right. But this is what I want to say about the fans and CJ Stroud. Okay, look, don't be saying, "Oh, well, we're going to have a slump when CJ Stroud overthrows somebody or interception." I don't want to hear slump incoming if CJ Stroud makes a bad pass. Like if CJ Stroud makes a bad pass in training camp, I'm okay with it because guess what? It's training camp. I'd rather see it now than in the game. Like all last year, CJ Stroud was a bust because he was making horrible throws. He got interception. Davis Mills threw better passes than he did in training camp. Guys, do we have to go AI on this? Like, we're talking about practice. Like, let's keep practice, and let's quit doubting the guy. My opinion, he's proven that he is the talent we think he is. So just chillax, fans, about this whole. Oh, here we go. We threw an interception. It's slump time. So chill out. But I gotta take it. Drew said the 3 receivers. I gotta go with the 3 D linemen. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see Autry, Hunter, and Anderson Jr. Anderson Jr. looked like he worked out with JJ Watt. The dude just built like a monster. So I'm excited to see the work he's going to put in. And then you got Daniil Hunter. Look, Jonathan Grenard was a good player last year, but he was nowhere near the level that Daniil Hunter is. So that's scary. That to me is like if we got somebody on the other side of JJ Watt in his prime days. So that's what I'm excited to see. Drew, do you have anything to add? Ours positions?
I like what you said about the defensive line. I would say Daniel Hunter's a little bit of a different player. He's going to add a lot more power. Jonathan Grenard had a little bit of finesse, power, and speed, but Daniel Hunter is just an absolute monster. But the defensive line is very interesting because you're going to be able to line up Autry in different positions. He played inside, he played outside. So I'm really interested to see like what our third down pass sets are looking like, because you can have 5 defensive linemen on the field if you want, with the Texans' versatility. You can move. We saw Will Anderson line up inside at times in some pass sets, and Tio Hunter, he can line up over the nose guard or as like a nose guard and kind of just bull rush you if you want. So D'Amico Ryan's gonna have a lot of fun with all the defensive players they added. I like you said about Al-Shaair. It's crazy how many players the Texans have on this team now. They're just super talented. This defense is filled with talent. The offense is filled with talent. It's just going to be awesome to watch.
I got a question for you, Drew.
Gotcha.
Do you think the tandem of Hunter and Will Anderson is what we've been trying to get all along when JJ was here? Because we did JJ, we did Clowney, we did JJ, we did Antonio Smith, JJ. You know, is this tandem? I know it's gonna be 2 years for Daniil Hunter, but you think these
Right.
guys is gonna show up and show out?
Yes, I think Daniil Hunter is, he's what, he's 31, maybe, I don't know, something like that at the end of his prime, but he had what, 20, 15 plus sacks last year. He's playing good at the right time. He's coming back home. Will Anderson's only going to get better. He pretty much, I would say, he kind of broke out a little bit at the end of the last season when he was just unstoppable. He was coming off of injuries, and he was playing hurt, and he still had multiple 2 sack games at the end of the year. This duo is going to be very hard to stop because when you have 2 guys like that are really, really good, guess what? You can't double team both of them. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, and you got to add like Daniil Hunter did all that last year without a guy like Will Anderson on the other
Exactly. He
side
did
in
all by
Minnesota.
himself. Yeah,
Right. So it's just like on the offense. Like who are you going to double team?
literally,
I mean, you got to pick your
absolutely.
poison. Like either you're going to double team Nico or you're going to double team Anderson. Like which one are you going to roll with?
Yeah, and that's
But
why Denico Autry too. The reason why he's coming to Houston because he's not going to get double teamed. Denico Autry has an insanely high pass rush win rate, and so he's not going to get double teamed a single snap. He's just going to be able to do whatever he wants. He's also a very versatile pass rusher in terms of pass rush moves. He can overpower you too, but he can also pull off a spin move. He can swim on you. He can rip through. So the matchups are going to be an absolute nightmare.
so Bo, I'll kick off to you. So who do you cover in that case? Like who do you double team Anderson? Do you double team Hunter? Like who do you pick?
I think most teams would regard their left tackle as the best player on the offensive line. So because I'm sure Daniil's going to be on the right side, so he'll go against the left tackle a lot. I think they're going to probably slide a lot of protection toward his way, but double team Will because I feel like Will's the younger player. He's got a lot of energy. He's gonna keep coming regardless of whatever you do. So I think that's what they do. I think they're going to double team Will and just slide protection to Daniil Hunter's way. But then, like you said, you do all that and Autry or I keep forgetting his name. The tackle from Jacksonville we brought in. He'll come
Flo or
in,
something
wreak
like that.
havoc. Yeah, it's something with an F. I can't. I never can. I never know how to pronounce it. But yeah, he'll wreak havoc, and then D'Amico every now and then loves to bring a little blitz from the corner. So it's going to be interesting to see how teams defend us. I think where we are probably going to have issues with is if the offense get the ball like to maybe I guess inside the red zone, inside the 5. Because if they go heavy package and we really have a star 0 technique or a 0-1 technique, they can overpower us and they in the end zone. So it's gonna be interesting to see how we do in that aspect, short yardage to the end zone time. But other than that, I feel like for the most part we have a good rotation of defensive linemen, so it shouldn't hurt us that much.
Yeah, like the depth, right? Like we
Yeah,
re-signed
a lot of
Jerry
depth.
Hughes. Yeah, we bought Barnett back. Got Tim Settle, another Mario Anderson or Addison. Dude, we're set with the line, so it's great to see, especially the Texans get beat up with injuries. So I'm 102%. You got something, Andrew?
I was gonna say I really like Mario Edwards. I think he's another guy who can give you a lot of juice. He can also, like Danico Autry, move inside and be a 3 tech on passing downs as well. So yeah, if the defensive line, if anyone gets hurt, you'd be looking at Derek Barnett starting, Mario Edwards starting. Those guys can absolutely get the job done.
Yeah, and I
And we
think
brought back Jerry Hughes. So,
yeah.
got Jerry Hughes to get a little more trail on that
Yes.
tire, to
There
help
you
us
go.
out on the edge. So, we got some rotation players. So it's good to see what's going to happen.
And I think Khalil Davis is going to have a big year this year too, off the bench. I
Love
think he's
Khalil
going.
Davis.
Yeah,
He's great.
especially when it comes to the run game. I think he's going to be there on running situations. So, Chris, you got any more questions for Drew?
No, that was it.
What about you, Keno? You got any questions?
Not right now.
All
I
right.
did have one for Drew before. I had one for Drew.
Go ahead.
Last year we had Desmond King, and we released him. Does he make it past training camp this year and stay on the Texas team without being released? With the corner we have in the depth, do he make it? Does Desmond King make it?
Yes, because not because of his cornerback play, because of Frank Ross and his special teams play. The Texans have had the #1 special teams unit for 2 years in a row, and Desmond King has played a big role in that. And I know Frank Ross definitely loves Desmond King.
Okay, yeah. Frank Ross is tough. That's a great coach right there.
Future head coach right there.
He
Frank
making
Ross.
plays, but he making plays on special teams. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, and also like you got to give him respect too. Last year at the second half of the season, King turned it on. Like he at the nickel position, he was one of the best corners. Especially when it comes to the what's that?
They turned on that Dolphins preseason game, and it just looked bad for him, man. Like he couldn't do nothing. You can't expect him to guard those receivers, so it made him look bad. But I mean, they brought him back, and like you said, he turned it up. So I wish they would have kept Desmond King. So I was surprised when they released him early in the year in the season.
All right. Well, I got one for you, Drew. Do you think there's going to be any cuts before the preseason? If you do, who do you think it's going to be?
Definitely Robert Woods. That's the #1 name to watch out for. It's a lot of money for an old player who could not separate last season. Texans also just signed Quintez Cephas, whatever its name is. But the Texans have a lot of receivers on the roster anyways, and Robert Woods is only getting older, and you're paying him too much money, and you're not gonna use him enough. He would be the 4th at best. He'll be the 4th wide receiver on the depth chart. So there's no point in him being on the roster, in my opinion. I think that's an easy cut to just make.
That's okay. That makes sense. I understand that, but who is the veteran legacy player that stays on this team? Because everybody knows for some reason Nick Caserio or D'Amico, whoever on the Texans, love a veteran legacy player. We had Rex Burkhead. You had Robert Woods last year. Is there somebody else out there, or is Robert Woods going to stay again as that veteran leader?
I mean, he could say as a veteran leader, but I mean, the team is, there's they added more people, but there's also
a lot of
receivers. But I think that the locker room, the culture, whatever you want to say, they're good. The culture is great. They're led by C.J. Stroud, a very young player, but also a leader, one of the best leaders on the team. So I don't think you really are going to miss much by cutting Robert Woods. They also added Ben Skoranek too. That's another receiver, fullback potentially, special teamer. I think Ben Skoranek adds more value to your football team than Robert Woods does.
Okay.
I think in that aspect, Bo, I think D'Amico has so much respect for ILCs out here. I think that's going to be the guy. I think that's going to be the legacy guy, right? Like he's putting all his eggs in that basket. So, and plus, it's cheaper to keep him than it is Robert Woods, like Drew said. So, if you're not producing, the years of overpaying people just to suck needs to be in the past.
Yeah. Personality contracts, I call them.
Yeah. When we paid Martin all that money, I was sick. I was sick for weeks. Like, we cannot be doing that no more.
He was one of the Rock Boys. You got to give him the money. He was one of the Rock Boys out there doing the rock guitar.
You were on the Bill O'Brien boys. That's who he was. Kershaw, you got anything, or you still good?
No, I'm good. I'm good, man.
Kenneth?
I have a question for everybody. Would
All
y'all
right.
be surprised if, well, not for both. Would y'all be surprised if Robert Woods is still on this team after training camp or after preseason?
I would.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like writing on the wall, right? Like, I mean, like Drew said, at best, he's your fourth best receiver.
Mm-hmm.
But come on,
Mhm.
like, are you really choosing him over Mechie, Hutch, Sims? Like, I
I'm
mean, there's
glad you
guys that add
said.
more, right?
That's right.
I'm
CJ
glad you
loves John
said
Mechie.
Mitchie. Yeah, I'm glad you said Mitch because that's another question.
Yeah.
Who goes first, Kenyon Green or Mechie? Who gets traded first?
Kenyon Green might get cut because I think the Texans have no
Mm.
expectations for him, and they're just gonna treat him like any player that's on the roster. So if he's not performing, as
So they
good as
so they
good as
couldn't get
like,
a 6 or 7 round pick for him. Just something. Just something.
oh, I mean, I guess since he's a former first round talent, that's a fair thing to say, but I don't know. I mean, I guess the Steelers did trade Kendrick Green to us for, was it a sixth or a seventh?
Something like that.
Ken
Yeah.
So if
Hmm.
I guess if they can trade Kendrick Green, we can trade Kenyon Green. Kendrick Green may outperform Kenyon Green in training
Yeah,
camp,
that's
and
true too.
that's how this may all work out.
Well, the good
I
thing
want Kenyon
about
to have a great year, man.
well, the good thing
I
about
want Kenyon Green to have a good year. I don't want. I want him to show
abs-
potential, be that
right.
first round pick that he was, and go crazy this year.
Well, the good thing about this roster, like the only people that we really have to pay next year is who Stingley and Kenyon Green, maybe if we wanted to. So
Mm.
we got the time to wait. Like we just let this all their rookie contracts play out. Like we don't have to cut them.
Hmm.
We don't have to trade them. You know what I mean? So we can let them play out. And if Green balls out, pause, then no. So what? That's another spot we don't have to worry about. But if he sucks, let him ride the bench and ship him out. I mean, it'd be nothing to worry about. That's the good thing about Nick Casario here in past. We got Scruggs and Patterson. He either one can fill that role, and like Drew said, Kendrick Green. That's another guy who can make plays. So and also Blake Fisher has played guard before, so there's like different varieties you can go that way, right? So
Yeah,
I think they
whoever
both
plays better.
stay. Yeah, I think they both stay, but that's just my opinion. I've been wrong many times.
So,
But
what if Titus sucked this year?
Blake Fisher, Drew, what do you think?
Ooh. If Titus sucks, I'd be shocked because I think very underrated player.
Really?
Um, just stick him at right tackle and where he wants to play. He's made it very clear that he wants to play tackle. Um, I think he's a good player. He's got really strong hands. He's pretty quick. He's got a lot of power in the run game. You just got to get comfortable. So I'm not really too worried about Tyus Howard. The contract that he got, the value that he got, seems about right to me. And the Texans seem to be super high on him by giving him that contract. But like you said, Tyus Howard sucks. We got Blake Fisher. Nick Casario has made it very clear that we're going to have lots of options at the offensive line to make sure that we can protect CJ Stroud for the rest of his career.
Look, I ain't gonna lie. If week 4 and Titus Howard already has 4 false starts on third down, he's bench. Like we
Well,
can't
Laramie
be having.
Tunsil has a full start every game.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But it seems like on Titus Howard
Every
when it's
game.
third and 2, like in critical conditions, that's when Titus Howard.
Yeah,
Like we can't be having none of that. Like
yeah.
discipline, their young grasshopper discipline. Because we that's really what killed us against the Ravens, right? Like we third down crucial plays and how many false starts did Howard have that game?
No, it was Laramie.
4?
This was
Was
Nah,
it
talking about
Lerman?
the first.
it was Tunsil and George Fant.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was
Yeah,
Fant,
yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah. Titus was out. Yeah, Titus
That's
was
right.
out.
That's right. Well, the whole offense line needs to get some what's called too.
I just
Get
need Titus and Laramie to, like, y'all can be fly off the field, you know what I'm saying? Have your little swag on.
Those
When y'all
offensive
talk
models
on
right
that
there. Those
field,
type of models
I
right
need
there.
the dog to come out. Like, don't get me wrong, Laramie is good. Laramie is great. Titus is good. But when it comes to the run game, I just need them to get a little bit more dog. Like they got to be more aggressive. Sometimes it be
Absolutely.
seeming like they don't want to do much. They just want to put their body in the way. Like, nah, man, y'all got to get y'all hands dirty. Like, that's what I need them to do. If they get to that mentality, and I feel like Titus got that from Laramie, a little pretty boy stuff. Like, I need the dog to come out of them. Like, for real, for real. They great, they good players, but I really need the dog to come out of them. Like, don't be afraid to get injured. Just play hard. Go in. Like, these dudes,
Absolutely.
these D linemen can't mess with y'all if y'all really do what y'all know y'all can do.
Yeah, 100%. Before we move on, I got some questions from some fans. We got stressing. Drew, who is your biggest breakout player this year?
Whew, that is a really tough one. Um, well, in a weird way, it could be Jalen Petrie because he broke out and then he slumped, but he could break out again because he could be more comfortable in the defensive scheme if they move him around to a more comfortable spot, hopefully closer to the line of scrimmage and a nickel or star role. I could also see it being Damian Pierce. The Texans seem to be super high on him. Him and Joe Mixon are having good chemistry with each other so far. So everything out of there is good. Damian Pierce gets more comfortable. So it's kind of like Jalen Petrie. Both these guys are getting more comfortable after a little bit of a sophomore slump. I think both of those guys could break out and be utilized to their maximum potential.
All right. I'll real quick, the other guys too. Chris, who do you think is going to be the breakout player?
If I say this name, you might be like, "Well, damn, didn't he have to break out?" But I'm gonna say it in a way. Christian Harris.
Okay.
Christian
Pro
Harris.
Bowl Christian Harris. There you
Pro
go.
Bowl.
I'm going to say
Yeah,
all pro.
I see that.
All
Yeah.
Pro too. Harris. All Pro
There
too.
you
I
go.
don't give him two.
All right. Bo, what about you, brother?
Okay, when we say breakout, could that be anybody? Or are we saying like a young player in the league?
Anybody.
Or anybody? Anybody?
Anybody.
I want this person to have a breakout season. I want Dalton Schultz to have a breakout season and not drop a lot of passes like he did last year. That's what I want him to do. I want him to have a consistent low drop season, okay? Because there was some times where we had needed that first down and Butterfingers McGee over
Another
here
guy
dropping passes,
in
so,
crucial plays, like third down.
I mean,
Yeah.
and to be fair, he helped win that Titans game, so I'm not really gonna be hard on him because he
Single-handedly.
has some great plays. But I'm just saying the little things, like just look the ball in and go over the field. So I'm gonna say Dalton Schultz breakout year as a Texan. He's got the new contract, so let's see what happens, man.
All right. Kenneth, what about you, brother?
I'm gonna say this name. I know people gonna be like, huh? But I'm hoping for this, and I think it's gonna happen. Kenyon Green. I
Okay.
think
Yes,
he's gonna have a breakout year.
lock in.
Um, yeah, that could because like just the videos I've been seeing and the reports I've been seeing, I feel like he's 100% healthy. He's gonna come into training camp, and he got to do what he needs to do. So I not think he's going to do it. He's going to put on for that each hometown, and I think he's going to get the job done. I mean, it ain't much. You know what I'm saying? He got help, great help. You got Larry Tunsil on your left side, and you got Juice coming back at center or Patterson, whichever. Like it's you got help on the O line. So can you take that step? Hopefully, no injuries. And I think he's gonna break out. And I know that sounds crazy, but I think it's going to happen. We definitely going to need him in that run game because if we've been totally honest, he's one of our O linemen that's great at run blocking.
Yeah, he's a good run blocker. He just can't pass block. I don't know
Yeah,
why.
that's the only thing, and that's the thing he's been working on. So I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see.
Do you have something to add?
I was gonna say that I think like you said, Ken Green's a good run blocker. I just felt like his kick step and his backdrops were just a little bit too clunky. And that's fortunately something that you can fix. I really feel if he gets in like better shape. You say you saw the videos, so assume he's in better shape. His kick step is going to be way more fluid. I hope he still has the same motor and power in the run game, and just kind of be the talented player that he is.
Absolutely. So here's my guy. I think Jimmy Ward is going to have a breakout year. He's going to stay healthy. He's going to get it all together. He don't have to be the leader on that team now that uh, Aziz out here is there. So I think it takes more pressure off him. He can go out there and be a safety. So I think if he can stay healthy, this will be the breakout year for Ward. We definitely need it. We can't be having Petrie another year of Petrie being Petrie. So I'll take
That's
it.
what I'm saying. Can't they all just two-hand touch until September? It's just just wear some nice cotton uniform, pillow uniforms. Just two-hand touch people. Everybody get to the season nice and healthy. No problems in training camp. No one gets a nick and no ankle, no Achilles, no ACL. Just make it to September unscathed. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Bubble wrap, bubble wrap, bubble wrap, bubble wrap. We can't be having it. We got one more question from Stressing again, but this is for Kenneth. I'm higher on Mills than most. Sounds like you are too. Do you think he's a good backup QB, or should we trade him? Who's better?
Man, keep Davis Mills. That's the smartest thing for us to do. Reason I say that is because one, why trade him? And y'all want Case Keenum as the backup? I don't. I'm sorry. I saw the Titans game last year
In the
and the
Browns
Browns
game,
game, and I'm sorry. I'd rather Case be a assistant offensive coach. Make that up as a position coach and put him as assistant offensive coach. If you trade him, who are we bringing in? That's the other question. I would just rather keep Davis Mills, me personally. Um, Davis Mills is a good player. Like the other thing is, and I'm gonna stand on this. I'm Kenneth. I stand on this message. He did not have the weapons like that in the years he was starting. He didn't, and the coaching wasn't really there. Kelly was good, but and we all know Pep is just straight up garbage. So I would rather keep Davis Mills, and I truly think he's a good backup quarterback. I don't see why I trade him. Keep him. You know what I'm saying? Him and CJ cool. Keep that bun. You know what I'm saying? Keep don't change. Don't switch it up. There's no point. He's a very supportive of CJ. He pushes CJ. They have a good relationship. Why trade him? I don't see why trade him. I know some of y'all might be like trade him, get rid of him. Nah, I'm not. I'm not going with that. Not me.
All right. So before I get Drew's take on it, I had two people giving you some side eye there, Ken. So I'll start with you first, Crenshaw. I saw you side eyeing that. Well, what's your thoughts on it?
At this point, if Mills is trade him, like if he's playing quarterback for this team, then we doomed anyway. And then we drop another quarterback too as well. So trade him like basically like this. This your guy. You want him to get a chance to be a starting quarterback. He's not gonna get that shit here. So trade him to a team that he could, compete at. Um,
Crenshaw,
last
can I
year,
pause you real quick?
pause me, man, pause me. Talk to me.
Why have him go compete for a starting job if y'all don't believe he's the starting quarterback?
Well, I'm talking about he's not starting quarterback here. He could
Of
be at
course
the other
not.
teams, but not in Houston. You know what I'm saying? Last year he couldn't much play when CJ was out. They put Case over him. The guy sucks. I don't care what kind of weapons we got out there. He sucks. He's not an NFL quarterback. Maybe in high school he was, but not in NFL. All right, you got it, Bo.
Yeah, I was going to say Bo was over here just like I was feeling the breeze
Yo,
from
man, listen
Bo
here,
just
man.
shaking his
Everybody over
head.
here being nice. Everybody being nice, and they're just great gentlemen over here. The best thing Davis Mills did was throw that Hail Mary pass in the end zone against the Colts. That's the best thing Davis Mills did for this organization, for us to lose that number one pick to draft CJ at number 2. That's the best thing Davis Mills did. Beyond that, trade him. There are quarterbacks in the UFL right now that you could have as your backup, probably cheaper than what you're paying Davis Mills. They could probably play better than Davis Mills. Davis Mills played good because he had no pressure. He went out there just throwing because he could throw. He know he ain't the man no more. When he was out there in those years without CJ Stroud, that man was abysmal. Okay? You understand me? You know how bad he was? They brought another quarterback in to run read option plays. That's how bad that man was, okay? All right? So all this, Davis Mills is a good backup quarterback. He got there. No, he can't. No, he's a nice guy. And I'm sure he had some great years. Where he came from, Stanford? That where he came from? He had some great years. He was a third-round pick. He enjoyed his ride. When it's time for him to go, trade that man immediately, okay? Because like Crenshaw said, if, God forbid, CJ Stroud has to get out the game, everyone's going to hold their breath when Terry run out there. If you say no, if you say you're not going to hold your breath, you're lying to yourself right now, okay?
I'm
All
not.
right?
Objection.
So,
hold up.
it is what it is. When CJ got hurt for that split second and they put Davis Mills in, all I said was, please just run the ball and don't turn the ball over. I forgot what game it was, but it was like maybe 2-3 plays where Mills went in there, and I was like, okay, just do not turn the ball over. Give him some halfback dive plays, and CJ Stroud go right back in there and take us to glory. And he got back in there and took us to glory. So yeah,
It was a
I'm not high on Davis Mills. Okay, whatever happens, happens. All right.
Absolutely. All right, Drew.
I think I can find some middle ground in here. Davis Mills actually he didn't have a good time at Stanford at all. Stanford was really bad, and Davis Mills didn't look very good at Stanford. But he was a five-star quarterback in high school, so that kind of boosted his stock. People thought he might be a first-round pick if he stayed in school. He would not have been a first-round pick if he stayed in school. But when he was on the Texans, he did look bad at times, but he also made some big time throws to the point where, yeah, people thought he did have starter potential. So I would just keep him on the team for now because I don't think you're going to be able to trade him. If you could trade him for a fourth round pick, this is completely hypothetical. Trade him for a fourth round pick, then go ahead and trade him for that fourth round pick. But I think the Bobby Slowick scheme is very quarterback friendly, West Coast. So Davis Mills is familiar with that coming from Stanford. And I think that he's a better quarterback than Case Keenum because, like Kenneth said, we saw Case Keenum play too, and that was not very good. So just kind of chill with Davis Mills a little bit there, and hopefully we'd never have seen him on the field. But I don't know why they didn't play him over Case Keenum, but I would expect Davis Mills to be the backup this year.
Yeah. Hindsight is 2020, but I'm asking y'all right now. That first game we played in Tennessee, if Davis Mills goes out there, do we win that game from the jump?
Yes,
I think we do.
No way.
Case Keenum was not good in that game. I think Davis
I
Mills could have
know
played
Case
about.
he wasn't no best player in the world, but he managed that game enough. Even though he threw that, what was it? He threw a pick six too, right? Didn't Case throw a pick six that game?
Yeah.
I might he threw a pick six.
But Davis didn't get the chance to manage that game, so we don't know what would have happened. But I know that Davis Mills is a little bit more arm talent than Case Keenum. So I have a feeling that since Case Keenum played pretty poor,
we put him in the game to throw the ball deep because we knew Case couldn't do it. So,
but Davis Mills can. I really think
exactly
he can.
That's why we put him in. But I feel like that was very disrespectful when we did that. Like y'all want to put him in and throw a Hail Mary, which I ain't want to start him in the doggone game. I was Mills, but at the end of the day, Mills is a good guy.
What does that tell you as a fan when your team goes with however old Case Keenum is above Davis Mills? What does that let you know as a fan base? It let you know, hey, one, they don't trust him, or two, he's not good enough.
How about this?
I think they were listening to the fan base because a lot of people are like Crenshaw and Bo. They hate Davis Mills, which they have every right? I mean, like we have scars from quarterbacks, right? Like it's a sore subject. So they listen to the fan base because Davis Mills was the guy going into that game. And then was it like 2 days before the game? They said, "Oh no, it's Case Keenum." So I think they did listen to the fans. And if it wasn't for Dalton Schultz deboing that ball out of McCreary's hands, we lose that game. We straight up lose that game if Dalton Schultz didn't rip that ball out of his hands. So I
also managed to throw a pick six.
All right. Hey, Matt. Put that comment back up by stretching. The three quarterbacks, but One about 3 quarterbacks better than Mills.
I was going to say stressing, and you one of them. You one
Okay.
you one of you one of the 3 better than Davis Mills right now. Okay, so we need 2 now. We need 2 more quarterbacks.
I can give you 3 right now. I can give you 3 right now. Joe Flacco better than Davis
I was
Mills.
gonna say that too. Yeah.
Gardner Minshew is better than Davis Mills. And what's the dude from the Bengals? Browning, I think Browning's better than
Oh
Davis
yeah.
Mills.
Browning, yeah.
3 right there.
Uncle Rico was
Here's my issue. I'm sorry.
Look,
Can
Ken, I gotta
Airbud.
agree with him.
I gotta talk.
With him, Kenneth. Browning is a better quarterback than Mills.
Hold on.
He knows how to win.
Hold on. I'll give you one more. James Winston.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
The disrespect, like, hold on, like the disrespect. Let me break this down real quick. Let's not act like this man that come into a horrible situation, a horrible situation. Last year was his first year, just like CJ in that offense. Let's think about that. So the reason they probably went with Case Keenum is because he's a vet. He probably knew the offense better than Davis Mills. Who knows? And they probably didn't want to dumb it down. I don't know. But at the end of the day, Davis Mills came into a horrible situation. Nico, honestly, we being real, Nico got paid because of CJ Stroud. If we didn't have CJ Stroud, I don't know if Nico would have got paid. Let's also look at that. So the weapons, like who? We had on what's his name? Chris Moore. Come on, his man was throwing to Chris Moore. Chris Conley. Is it Chris Moore? I think his last name Moore, but he didn't have the weapons. Look at this team right now. You telling me Davis Mills couldn't come in the game if he needs to throw to Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz, and Joe Mixon, a running game. You telling me he couldn't come in and be a good backup if we need him to step in?
Nah, because he's gonna be scared.
I agree 100% with that.
Okay, so your whole argument is he's a backup. You're not saying that you would trust him as a starting guy because QB1. You're not saying that, right?
I don't want him as a starter.
Okay, I'm about to say because I was just going to ask you if they don't make that trade and they don't use one pick and take Will Anderson Jr. and now we got Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Dalton Schultz, and what's Davis Mills. How are you feeling going to this season?
This is what I'm saying. Don't trade the man. I think he's a good backup. And I honestly think he didn't.
Okay.
The cards he was dealt wasn't that good at all. Philip Hamilton was just straight up garbage. Like I'm gonna stand on that.
I'm glad he said this.
Okay.
You know what's coming up? Preseason. All right. Preseason coming up. Okay.
You get to watch Davis Mills.
And CJ might not play every preseason game, but you know who will play a preseason game? Davis Mills. So I want to see Davis Mills go out there with what we got. I'm sure Tank Dell will probably be out there. Maybe Nico. Maybe we'll see. We'll see if they out there. I would love to see him.
They're not gonna be out there.
This
Tank Dell better not be out there.
We gonna see. I just want to
but
see how
he
he
still got
goes.
weapons.
Like I said, with no pressure, he's gonna look amazing.
Hey,
Yeah.
Look, I think he's a good backup.
I'm not saying he's a good backup, but I'm gonna have to agree with Keno and Drew. I don't think you trade him. I just let the contract ride out because I don't think you're gonna get nothing out of him. So he knows the system, he knows the guys. Let it ride. Hopefully, knock on wood, if CJ Stroud does get hurt, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But right now, just keep him on the roster. Just let him ride his contract out, which is end of this year. And thank you. But no, thank you.
Can I ask one thing? The question that Sturgeon asked, I think he should ask who is a backup quarterback that's available or that's we can possibly get that's better than Davis Mills.
Well, he clarified that later on. He did say that. Only person I could think of is Ryan Tannehill.
Ooh.
I mean, here's the list right here. Ryan Tannehill, Trevor Siemian, Blaine Gabbert, AJ McCarron, Brian Hoyer, Kellen Mond, Ben DiNucci. I'll take Ben DiNucci.
Ben DiNucci
over Davis.
And the only person that I'm okay with is Ryan Tannehill. That's the only person y'all can say that y'all will take. Everybody else, no. Stop it. We got
I'm dying over here.
man, hey,
He said, "I'll
Davis
take
Mills, if you're
Brandon
listening, I
Luccio."
need you to ball out in the preseason, brother. I need you to ball out, man. All right.
When that
Do
man
your
throw a
thing
pick
in
in the
preseason.
preseason, I'm coming right to this show on Wednesday, and I want you to look the camera in the eye and say he a good backup quarterback. Throwing pick sixes to second string defenses. That's what I want you to say. He the best backup quarterback in the NFL right now. I want you to say that.
All right, fellas. Well, the last word of our boy Crenshaw is the worst part of the show because it's the end. Drew, why don't you tell everybody where we can find you and what you got cooking? That way we can support you.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at InDepth Texans, and I'll probably just be cooking up some articles, hopefully some training camp analysis. I plan on going to probably 3 practices for. I'll check that out, and I'll try to give my analysis, and then I'll start up some film reviews once preseason and the regular season starts.
Yeah, we're only 50 days away, fellas. We're almost there. Thank goodness. All right, Kenneth, where we find you, brother?
Y'all can find me on Twitter at messenger_Keno, Instagram and YouTube, Kenneth the Messenger. And yeah, man, y'all keep supporting Texas Fan Battle podcast. And yeah, it's only up.
All right, Mr. Crenshaw, what about you?
You can find me at Fifth Ward Crenshaw everywhere. Sorry about the background noises back here, fellas. Keep supporting the channel. Support Drew. I've been following Drew for a while. And let's go.
Yeah, like we said before, you jumped on it. It's fine, good to put a face to the profile. We're like, we never knew who you look like.
Yeah, I know. I
Now
like
now we
to
can
the
see who it is.
Texans pictures, but yeah, thank you guys for having me on. It was super fun.
I thought it was AI. I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was AI.
All right, but what about you, brother?
Oh yeah, you can follow me on all socials. TikTok where I be at the most, but I'm trying to branch out to YouTube, Instagram, and all that good stuff. Bo Diggity 713, all platforms. We'll be cooking up some more stuff for this upcoming season. New ideas, new videos. You know the vibes, man.
Absolutely, and you can find me at A1 Day One Texans everywhere, and of course, like all the guys said, make sure you continue to support the channel. Texans Fan Battle everywhere. Check it out. Just dropped a new article on fanbattlesports.com. So make sure you check that out. Till then, have a wonderful week. Enjoy some training camp. We'll talk to y'all next week.
Yo, check it out, pre-rapping for the Texas.